OK, but we do need to move on to our second cruise. It's a fast-paced show. Let's start to take a look. We'll take a look at Princess Cruises. This is on board the Ruby Princess. Let's take a look at life on board.
Yeah,
all right, so what can you tell us about this, Paul?
I was fortunate enough to work for Princess. They are absolutely fabulous. This particular ship launched in 2008, but refurbished again in 2011. 15 decks, and it is luxury. 4 pools, style, grace. Today they are the 3rd largest liner in the world. If you're looking to go for a romantic getaway, this is certainly a ship to consider. You've got the piazza, which is the heart of the ship. You're going to get international cafe there, wonderful food, wonderful music, and if you really like to have a variety, there's even a sushi bar on board. You've got the Crown Grill. There's 24-hour dining for you. They've got an Italian flavour to them, although it's not strictly an Italian line. You've got Sabatini's restaurant there, which is the premier restaurant. They are an innovator. They brought lots of things to the cruising industry, like movies under the stars. And I'd certainly say go to the Sanctuary, the Lotus Spa Pool. Great nightlife on there as well. There's even a wall video in one of the nightclubs. Great, great line. Absolutely love it.
That was gorgeous,
Actually,
isn't it?
I proposed to my wife on Princess Cruises.
Did you really?
I proposed in front of the audience.
Oh, wow,
on Princess
very
Cruises.
good.
And luckily she said yes.
Yeah, might imagine that if that went wrong. Blimey. All right, so listen, let's start to take a look at your itinerary, because this really is, you're travelling to some very, very far-flung places. Now, you're flying to Chicago, of course, the Windy City.
Yeah.
From there, you're then transferring to the hotel. And you've got a 2-night stay whilst you are there. Great opportunity to explore. You've got a day at leisure, and then on the 3rd day, you're making your way to the train, which actually travels from Chicago to Seattle. Which, again, I think what's interesting about that, you've got 2 very, very different cities there. In terms of experience and what have you. So tell us about the train we're going to be on there, Paul.
Well, actually, what you get is a roomette on board the train. It's Amtrak that you're travelling with. The train's called the Empire Builder, and the important thing is you're actually going through the US Rockies. You've got some idea right now. This is somewhat like you're going to see in Alaska, and unfortunately you won't have the time to take a train ride in Alaska, so this is the perfect way to do it, because you're going to get to cruise Alaska and see it from the water. But you get a roomette on board, and a roomette, it's not some tiny little cabin, it's like a cabin on a cruise ship. You've got your own bed, you've got your own bathroom, and of course you can walk up and down the train, enjoy the views, and there's a dining car on board as well. It's absolutely awesome just to sit there and enjoy the views. It's like having your own window of opportunity to look out and see that beautiful, beautiful scenery that just passes you by.
Some of the best scenery that you'll see in America. Then, obviously, when you're in Seattle, you've got a day at leisure, and then you're heading on board to the Ruby Princess for 7 nights. The first night, well, first day, I should say, relaxing day at sea. Then you're in Alaska, and then you're at Ketchikan.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you a lot about that. I was lucky enough to cruise the Alaska season for 2 years. So you generally go in the summer months. It's absolutely stunning. And when you get to Ketchikan, really are saying welcome to Alaska. This is a country that was, or a state for the US, but it was bought from the Russians back in 1867 for $7.2 million. It's the most southeasterly place in Alaska, and it's known as the salmon capital of the world. And today Ketchikan settles for the first city of Alaska. It could almost be called Thin City, actually, because it's several miles long, but it's no wider than 10 blocks. It's absolutely charming. There's lots of things to do there as well. You could take a ride up to Totem Bite State Park, and you can see how they actually make totem poles. You could take a plane ride. I've done this. It is amazing. You can actually go out into the ice fields, and you can land and you can actually walk around. They'll bake you salmon. You'll have the opportunity to, well, I don't want to say sea bears, but they're out in the distance, but there are bears around. Beware of that. That's Ketchikan itself, and it is absolutely stunning. You've got an opportunity to go and see the lumberjack show. Again, this is right beside the ship, and you get to see what they call some of the world-class champions. They're really athletes, and after a show you can even get your photograph taken to them. But it is breathtaking. Ketchikan is one of the most favourite places in the world for me. There you go, there's the bears. It is stunning. It is absolutely beautiful.
I'd love to go there. I really, really would. All right, so after Ketchikan, we're then heading to the Tracy Arm Fjord, which again is just north of there.
Yeah, you don't actually get off the ship at Tracy Arm Fjord. What you'll do is have an opportunity to pull into a fjord, and if you haven't taken an excursion, or you don't get off and go to see the Mendenhall Glacier when you get to Juneau, you'll get to see this from the ship.
Beautiful. That We're heading to Juneau, again in Alaska. And then after you've been to Juneau, we're then heading to Skagway, which again, all these areas on the map look relatively close to each other, but remember, it's a pretty big map.
Yeah.
And then you've got a relaxing day at sea, and then we're heading to Victoria, which of course just north of Seattle. Wow, that looks incredible, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's all part of British Columbia in Canada. It's absolutely stunning. It is actually named after Queen Victoria. And as you walk around, there's certain parts of it that just feel very, very British. You get to see red phone boxes, red post boxes, and you know that they're proud to have that British heritage.
Of course. Look at the colours there. Look incredible, don't they? Really, really
Yeah.
do. Then after that, you're then heading back to Seattle, where you'll transfer, obviously disembark, you'll transfer then back to the airport and fly back to London. But wow, what an incredible experience. All right, let's get reacquainted with the Ruby Princess. So this, I mean, you're talking about obviously Princess Cruises being innovators so much in terms of cruising, the cruising world.
Yeah, they come up with lots of ideas, lots of brand new shows. They come up with the idea of watching movies underneath the stars outside. They've got fabulous cuisine. You'll have several restaurants. And one of the great things about Princess Cruises, they give you the chance to actually eat the same place every night or to change restaurant every night. It's entirely up to you.
All right, so let's talk through prices, shall we? Let's take a look. OK, so the dates available, 27th of April, 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th of May, and the 1st and the 8th of June. This is obviously next year. Our return flights from London. Again, you can check with the call centre when it comes to regional flights. They can provide those supplements, will apply. Again, speak to the guys in the call centre. And don't forget, you've also got that overnight experience on that Amtrak train, which is a roomette. So nothing like you've experienced on your daily commute into the local city. This is a completely different ball game. All right, so let's take a look at prices. Now, the prices do vary a little bit, obviously, depending on where you go. You'll see the interior 2015, 27th of April has already gone, and those other prices are going very, very fast. What's interesting here, you can see there isn't a huge leap when you go from interior, when you go up to balcony. So if you do want to make this an experience that you'll never ever forget, this is well worth going for. But remember, of course, Planet Cruise can take care of everything. They want you to get the most out of your cruise. You can see here some examples of some destination excursions, gold mining and panning adventure from £51 per person. And you've got the salmon and bake at Larsville from £39 per person. Of course, you can add these on. Remember, Planet Cruise always have the most competitive prices when you call them on 0800 840 1088. That's 0800 840 1088. And if you are watching the show live, they will be open until 10:30 tonight as well. But of course, you can go to the website. That's obviously 24 hours. And they're open from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning as well. It's always very, very busy whenever Planet Cruise appear here on Ideal World.